Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, wherever you are in the world. Welcome to the Army, but also welcome to Full Time Sports Network as well. We are here to do a Oxford Arsenal preview, and I've got my good buddy here, Gumsa. How are you doing, Gumsa?
I'm all good. I'm all good. Just enjoying the weekend's football. It's a nice surprise results. Entertaining games. So hopefully not a surprise tomorrow, but an entertaining game. That's what we're hoping for.
Let's hope so. Are you slightly nervous? Yeah.
Nah. In previous years, I would say slightly. You don't want to get beat by a kind of team from a lower league. However,
Yeah.
I would put FA Cup this year for us as third priority. Um,
Third.
yeah. I definitely think Premier League and Europa League are more important right now, just because we need to get Champions League football next year. So
Fair
I
enough.
don't normally disrespect the FA Cup, but this year I would have to put this as my third priority. However, it's important for the guys who don't get as much game time. This is going to be an important competition for them to get some minutes. So I would like to go through. Same as the League Cup for me. I wanted to go through in that as well when we play
Yeah.
Brighton because again it's El Nene, it's Lakonga. This is where you get your
Yeah.
minutes. This is where we can see if you're ready in case of injury or things like that. So yeah, it's still important to go through. So you'll see my team a bit later, but it'll be semi
Yeah.
strong.
Yeah.
Um, but yeah, we'll get into that later.
Big up to Tony. Gumsa would be perfect for TFL. To be fair, we started on time when I changed the time, so technically
I
we're on
was here
time.
at 4 minutes past. But if
Big
there's
up
any
to
issues with
Carl.
my camera or mic, I was done before I had no time. But yeah,
Big up to Carl. Hope you're doing well, mate. Yeah, me and Colm will be hopefully doing a preview this week for the Man United game. No, not this next
Tottenham,
week, isn't
Tottenham
it? Yeah, it's Tottenham this week, and then it's
does, yeah.
yeah, crikey. They're just coming thick and fast now, aren't they?
Mm.
But we were talking about not worrying about Oxford. We don't have a great record against Oxford, which
It's,
which
it's
quite
spreading
surprised
some
me.
years, isn't it?
I know it's spread over some years, but once a team's a bogey team, it kind of stays
Mm.
that way. It doesn't really go. Last time we played them was 2003, which was an FA Cup game, and we won 2-0. But we've had a few defeats and we've had a few draws, mainly nil-nils, and mainly at Kassam Stadium as well.
Yeah.
So, are you slightly concerned more now that you've seen those results?
Nah, I think it's. As I said, I'm looking back at the years of these, and it's a lot in the '80s, one in 2003. So it's a big like period of time's gone past. So nah, I'm not really too stressed on it. I feel we've got enough to beat Oxford. Not being disrespectful to them, but
Yeah.
yeah, I feel we should have enough.
Yeah. Big up to Judge Dredd the Law. 3-0 to the Arsenal. I will write that down actually. I'll just put the name as Judge because it would take me ages to write your name down. Uh, the Premier League and Europa game first. Much love to you, Gooners. Afternoon to Brenny. Um, and Tony's going for 1-0. What's up with you, Tony?
Mm,
Normally it goes for these strange, crazy
extravagant.
results. Yeah, he normally goes like 5-1s, 6-1s.
I think again when you take into context some of the games this weekend, it does make you realise that the golfing quality is not as big as we
No.
probably think when you think League One. You're
Yeah.
thinking, do you know what I mean? Long ball city, but actually these teams are playing a lot better football, and I'm sure you're going to go through some players later who have played a high level. So it just shows you the level of player these kind of
Well,
clubs can attract nowadays.
exactly. See, the thing is, because obviously, let's think of a couple of results yesterday. Blackpool beating Forest wasn't a
Mm,
huge shock to me personally, but it was classed as a big result. Bournemouth drew with Accrington yesterday. Not a big shocker again to me. The biggest one yesterday for me, and I'm not, I don't want to be picking on them, but was the Tottenham game against Portsmouth. I
yeah,
know they
yeah,
won. I know they won, and they won 1-0, but it was at home and it was against Portsmouth.
and the team they put out as well.
Yeah, that for me was a bigger shock than the Sheffield Wednesday Newcastle game last night. I was more
Mm,
shocked by that because when you're at home, you expect dominance, pish bash bosh, job done. But it was 1-0 against Portsmouth,
yeah,
who aren't doing great in League One. Sheffield Wednesday are doing great in League One, but I was more shocked by that. And as Tony's just put there, Wrexham beating Coventry. That was a big shock, but wasn't a huge shock to me because I know I follow Wrexham a lot. Obviously,
right.
we've got the money from Ryan Reynolds as well.
Mm,
But Rob Lee's son plays for them, so they're a decent squad. But has any games so far really shocked you in the FA Cup?
Now I do think the Tottenham, when put it in perspective, because I think after the Palace win, you're thinking they're going to kick on.
Yeah.
I think one that's not going to worry me as yet now, but for the future, was Burnley beating Bournemouth 4-2.
That was a surprise to you?
Not really, but in the manner. It's kind of like,
okay.
Obviously you can see what Burnley are doing in the Championship.
Yeah.
But sometimes you put them against a Premier position to see what they could do, and it just kind of shows if they do come up next year, it's not going to be you never know what's going to happen, do you? But they're showing the right credentials to say they can hang in the big league. But yeah, and and do you know what? It was an enjoyable game, the Liverpool Wolves game. It wasn't really a shock, but I'm expecting again Liverpool to turn the corner soon, and they're just hemorrhaging goals, aren't they? So
does it make you smile though? Because it makes me.
It does.
Smile.
It makes me happy, but it just frustrates me with some of the decision making. That again, the third goal which Wolves scored, which we none of us will ever know if he's offside or not, because they for some reason didn't have a camera angle for that.
He wasn't offside. He wasn't offside.
They're saying it was the guy who took the corner.
They were saying because they didn't have the camera angle, they had to stick with the linesman's decision.
You had to go with the linesman.
If they went to VAR, that would have been cleared because he wasn't offside. He was standing in an offside position for a very short time, but he wasn't involved in the play.
Yeah.
So by the time it came to him, he was onside. So for me, it was definitely a goal.
You talk about you talk about the goal scorer, or
I was talking about Totti. Yeah, I was talking about Totti.
No. So what it is the guy who crossed the ball. He took the corner.
Yeah,
it came back out, and they said that's when he was offside. When he then got the ball on the edge of the box, wherever he was, that's when he was offside. So it wasn't actually for Totti, but that one was. Jeez. And again, there's no proof to say he was or wasn't, but it was the Salah goal that then was frustrating me because as a centre back, what do you expect me to do? Like I haven't played a blind pass back to my goalkeeper and Salah standing there. I'm trying to intercept that because I know Salah's behind me. I don't know if he's offside or not. I can't leave it, and I don't know how that then makes Salah active again. Like they need to look at those rules because if he made a slide tackle and it hit his studs and gone to Salah, he would have been offside still. But because he jumped for a header and stretched, it just doesn't make sense. So that second goal was the one that really wound me up the most, and we just got to start making some sense of these football stuff. It's too much into interpretation, and it's ridiculous. It is ridiculous.
Big up to Com. He's gone for 5-1 tomorrow. He knows I'm doing the watch long, so he's probably getting me all excited. It all goes wrong. Their pitch is probably dodgy. Yeah, I guarantee it is. The Hillsborough one wasn't the greatest yesterday. Brenny's saying that game in 2003 was Dennis Bergkamp scored his 100th goal for us. Also, won the cup that year, starting with Oxford in the third round. Big up to
Brenny. If we ever do a quiz, you're on my team, mate.
I've actually got an Arsenal quiz book down here as well, so we'll have to do that at some point.
I'm on team Brenny.
I think everyone will want Brenny, won't they? Lies, never offside. I can't even
Liverpool.
Yeah. Right. So I asked some people for some teams. I didn't ask too many this time because I knew loads of people will go for different teams, and I was right. Loads of people have gone for different teams. I've only got 8, and I've still got 8 different squads. I've not even done one. I've not even done one because a lot of my players actually played yesterday, so I wouldn't be able to pick much difference. But I asked Simon, but Simon was too late for me to do the slides, so I have got some slides, but these ones were the ones that cropped up late. So he's gone for Turner, Tomiyasu, Holding, Gabriel, Tierney, Elneny, Lokonga, Odegaard, Martinelli, Eddie, and Fabio. Do you think that's too strong, or do you think that's about right?
No, I don't think that's too bad, actually. Mine's slightly different.
Yeah, I've got yours on the slide, so don't worry about that. I've got yours done.
But I can understand the logic with that one because it's going to get that game done early. Win it, and then you can take off the likes of Odegaard, Martinelli, rather than have to bring them on later on if it's not going our way. So I quite like that squad.
King also did one. He went for Turner, Tomiyasu, Saliba, Holding, Tierney, Elneny, Fabio, Lokonga, Saka, Eddie, and Martinelli. What do you think of that one?
Again, not really. It's slightly different. Again, exactly. Saliba, Gabriel, and then Saka getting minutes. I would want to rest one of Saka and Martinelli.
Yeah.
Hence why, I think the other one I'd probably be more leaning towards. But I understand with the Saliba thing because I think Gabriel started off the turn of the year a lot stronger. So
Yeah.
maybe it's one for Saliba to try and get. Do you know what I mean? Just keep getting into the swing of it.
Yeah. And James, who literally did his, I think, about 10 minutes before we went on. Why? I do not know, because there was literally no time to even get that ready. I managed just to get it typing up. Turner, Cedric, Holding, Saliba, Tierney, El Neni, Lokonga, Fabio Vieira, Smith Rowe, Marquinhos, and Eddie. That one I kind of more like. That's my type of style, is resting
That's very
more.
close to my one. That's very close to my one.
Yeah. Well, let's get into the slides. So the first one that comes up is Luke. Big up to Luke. He's gone very strong. Now, I do know Luke, and I know Luke's mind. He wants this. I want the FA Cup as well. I want to win it. So he's gone pretty much full strength. Do you think that's too much of a risk, or?
No, I think the one person he's taken out probably is an important one to take out, which is Partey from our normal 11.
Yeah.
But yeah, for me, I wouldn't go. That's a bit too strong. If anything happens, we see Sterling and Pulisic pull up the other day against City.
Yeah.
Like anything can happen. Again, I know anything can happen in training. Anything can happen getting out of the bath. It's part of life. But is there more risk of an injury in one of these games? You never know what the turf is going to be like.
Exactly.
Oxford's first 10 minutes might just try and stick it on you a little bit. Like, yeah, you have to go kind of approach with a little bit of caution. So. With that, I wouldn't go as strong as that personally, but it does look good. And again, Partey resting, he's an important one that you don't want to get injured. So.
Yeah, exactly. And this one is yours.
Yeah, look at that.
So I'll let you talk about yours.
Yeah, so my only difference was I've rested kind of everyone else has gone for either Saliba or Gabriel, whereas I went with Tomiyasu as centre back, Cedric as right back, Tierney as left back. So the only one that really would start for me from our normal 11 at the moment is Nketiah, just because I don't think we have anything else up there. Yeah. However, it could be a game where Martinelli maybe gets a try out as a centre striker. I'm not saying it's a throwaway game. However, it's kind of like if you need to experiment going forward, this would be the game to experiment with something. Don't want to experiment against Tottenham. Don't want to experiment against United. Fourth round, you never know who you're going to get in that game. So if there is an experiment to be made, it really honestly has to be in this game. So as I said, I'm not disrespecting the FA Cup. I love that we win it so often. I love that we're the record holders of it.
Yeah.
However, for me, priority this year has got to be Champions League. So that's why the other two competitions take preference for me. So yeah, I literally rotated 10 out of the 11. The only one I didn't rotate is because I couldn't think of a striker to play instead of Nketiah. So yeah, that's why I've gone with that.
Well, I would say, I don't want to sound harsh. Do we think that maybe this is not the game for Smith Rowe due to the pitch?
It's one of them. I think he needs to come on in this game.
Yeah, I'm thinking maybe he should come on.
Yeah, you don't really want to be giving him in his first game back 60 minutes. So really 30 to 45. Again, these that wouldn't have done their due diligence, they know where he's at. But again, for me, I think it was a case of don't know who else to play in there. So it could be Vieira going to that position, and then we play one of the youngsters on the wing with Marquinhos. Again, you might see Martinelli, but I am with you on that. I think that is the biggest risk, is you don't want him breaking down again.
Yeah.
So yes, the game's kind of done and dusted. Him coming on for the last 25, 30 minutes just to go through the motions is probably a bit more sensible.
Yeah, because Newcastle, they gave Isak just 45 yesterday. They took him off at half time. I thought that was quite wise. He had a very good first half, to be honest. But you just need to bring him back gently, don't you? Especially on these type of pitches as well. So we've gone for Bobby Brown's next. So he's gone with Tomiyasu, Holding, Saliba, Tierney, El Neni, Lokonga, Xhaka, Fabio, Eddie, and Smith Rowe on the left. That's not a bad one, but again, I still stick with my Smith Rowe fear. I feel that this is one he should come on, not start. He needs a proper good warm up and give him 20 minutes at the end, maybe. What do you think of that one, though?
Yeah, no, it's quite balanced. It's got the experience in there as well. Strong. Again, when you look at that, it doesn't, not being disrespectful to Oxford, but that back line is very, very strong with El Nene and Xhaka in there. yeah, it's a very strong looking team. So defensively, I don't really have much issues at all.
Yeah.
Yeah, and then you just hope the boys at the top can just do a little something to get us over the line. So no, I can't grumble at that either. I think it makes sense. You got Shaka out there who's captain the team, your leader, and again, game gets wrapped up nice and early. Then
Yeah.
he can come off. Do you know what I mean? And rest up, ready for an important game on the weekend.
Yeah, exactly. So Gunnar King. Now, I've put Smith Rowe as 9, but he did actually say false 9, and I wasn't going to move everything because this is like a template. So this is a template which I use for every preview. So I don't want to change it just for once, and then I'm having to try to change it back again. It's an absolute nightmare. But the next 2 have got false 9s. So I think Tony's is the next one, which won't surprise you've got Holding in. But I'm guessing Tony's loving this because Holding's in pretty much everyone's
every
lineups.
team, yeah.
But this one again. Cozy Adubri and a Sousa one, as I was just telling you, Gumsa, earlier, my team would have probably had those 2 in, but they only played yesterday, so this is way too quick of a turnaround.
I think they'd be on the bench, though. I do think they'd be on the bench.
Yeah, they might be, but I would have liked to have picked them. I would have liked them to be dropped yesterday for this game. They were my 2 that I'm very excited about seeing. They need a bit more first team action.
I watched him in I watched that Cozy Adubri in the Juventus match, and he did look lively. To be fair to him, he was very, very good. So again, I would like to see him in this match at some stage, and Sousa as well. To be fair, So I quite like that in terms of I actually quite like that squad. Do you know what I mean? Apart from Gabriel, I don't think there's a need for Gabriel in there.
What do you think of the Smith Rowe false 9 now?
I wouldn't even bother. I understand it because it's keeping Eddie fresh for the weekend.
Yeah.
But again, putting him in areas where centre backs are coming to kick lumps out the back of him is probably no good for him right now. So I wouldn't move away from how we play normally. But it kind of makes sense to make sure we can get everyone in the team and get everyone rested. So I quite like that team. But the only thing I don't really like is the Gabriel. I think if you're resting everyone, you might as well rest him as well because we got Tomiyasu and Tierney who's not in that squad. I understand why because he's probably saving them for the weekend in case we need them as well. But equally, they need minutes, especially Tomiyasu who hasn't played much.
This is the thing because we're talking about resting, but it's 6 days, isn't it? Because we play on Monday and then we play Tottenham on Sunday. Is that right?
I'm not too sure if it's Saturday or Sunday. I haven't looked, to be fair.
I think it's the 4:30 kickoff, isn't it?
So if it is, it'll be the Sunday, 15th of Jan, which is Sunday, next Sunday, 4:30. Live on Sky Sports, you heard it here first.
And me.
Yeah, it's a good bit of turnaround. Yeah. Sorry, I'm catching on it.
Never mind them.
Yes, that's what. Let's listen to Bobby.
So this is what Tony's gone for. Unsurprised he's gone for Holding. But he's gone with Saliba at the back, Cedric. See, for me, I wouldn't pick Cedric anymore. He's got to go. I'm hoping that I hear breaking news. He's buggered off somewhere. I just don't want to see him in the squad anymore. But he's gone for Nelson. I've heard that Nelson has still got a bit of a knock. I don't know if you've heard that as well, but I've heard he's still got a knock. Have you heard that?
Yeah, I haven't heard, to be fair. I haven't really. Yeah, I'm a lot more relaxed nowadays. I'm not really feeding into a lot of the talk around and whatever else whatever turns up on the day, we go and play and we go and 9 times out of 10 beat teams. So I'm just quite relaxed. But I hope he is fit. Like he was looking good before the injury. Was one of the standout players in that second pre-season.
Yeah.
But again, if he is fit, maybe similar to Smith Rowe, because again, Smith Rowe has been in training longer than Nelson would have been. Do you risk starting him in this game? Maybe not, because again, he's actually probably more at risk of pulling up again, and then again, he's not there for the Tottenham game, so it might even be he doesn't need to feature. Depends where he is. It really depends. But if he is fit, then it makes sense him being in there, most definitely.
Yeah, exactly. So that's all the teams. We're not going to have to do the challenge, which I'm sure Gums is very happy about. But what I have done is I have looked at Oxford and gone for the players that we should watch out for. That are going to give us a few issues. Now, James Henry is the first one. Now, the problem I'm saying about him is his set pieces. He is very good at set pieces, corners, free kicks. He's just got this wicked foot. He does this little twist of his ankle. If you watch him closely, he does this little twist of an ankle, which just makes the ball spin around. He's so good at it because he used to play for the Wolves, and I think you said that he might have still played for Reading as well.
I've done a bit of history, and he did. He was born in Reading.
He's a Reading born.
Yeah,
oh, okay.
Reading born. He played a few games and then a lot of loans, but I remember his time mainly at Millwall. I mean, he did have quite a good career at Millwall. Before he went to Wolves. So yeah, he's from the hometown.
Another one is Lewis Bates. Now he is on loan at Oxford. He comes from Leeds, but he played for Leeds and he's done very well at Leeds, and he's gone to Oxford and done the same. So he's another good talent, centre midfielder. Could give us a little bit of an issue in the midfield. Marcus McGain. I'm only going to try not to laugh at this. Left us to go to Barcelona. Went on loan to some lower league Spanish team with a T, I think. I can't remember what the name was. And now he's at Oxford. Midfielder. I can't remember anyone really talking much about him in our academy. Do you? Because I heard he went, but he wasn't someone that I think anyone said, "Oh, watch out for him."
Yeah, it's he was never one of the ones you hear about. So I'm not too sure how good he was, but it was a surprise when he went to Barca because it's like, well, we missed something here.
Yeah, that's what I thought as well at the time.
But yeah, I don't think he's really lived up to. And I think he was an England youth player as well. But these things happen, don't they? Where it could be physicality. He might have been, not saying he's not a good player technically, but he might have just been a good specimen physically, and that's what excelled him. And once the other players started catching up with him, his quality never stood out. And that would probably could be the reason why his career has gone the way it has gone. But
the fourth one is Matty Taylor. Now he is going to give our backline, because you said about having a strong backline. He is an absolute nightmare to play against. He was very much similar to if anyone watched the game last night, Michael Smith, who played up front for Sheffield Wednesday. He's quite physical, quite strong, but he's got a pace as well. So he's going to give our defenders a bit of a nightmare. And the final one is one that he annoys me. Sam Baldock. I guarantee I'm going to put money on him scoring against us tomorrow. We might win 5-1, but I just got this feeling that little so-and-so is going to score against us. He's a nightmare. He's one of those goal poachers that you kind of love, but you kind of hate when they're playing against you. So he will be playing.
He also played for Reading. He played for Reading at all, guys. And I remember before he came to Reading, I was impressed with his finishing. But at Reading, he never it didn't take off for him.
No, he's
at Reading, but I do remember him being down there.
He's an annoying little so-and-so he is. But I just want to get into some comments because they have been building up. All cannons is there. What needs to happen is if VAR is being used in one of the cup games. Yeah, it wasn't being used last night in the Sheffield Wednesday Newcastle. No, 2 goals were definitely offside. We all knew it. All the commentators knew it. But they were allowed because there was no VAR. But I do totally agree. If they're not going to be used in one game, then they shouldn't be used in any of the games.
And it should be a competition wide as well. If it's not being used in the third round of the FA Cup proper, then it shouldn't be used in any of the legs because
spot on.
Yeah. As I said, I don't like these different.
What I will say, I get that the lower clubs can't afford all this technology, and that's absolutely fine. So then just don't have it. It's as simple as that.
Does the semi-finals still get played at neutral grounds?
Yes.
Maybe then is when you can say, right, semis and finals, we'll have it. But anything up to that, because again, if you're Oxford and you go all the way to the quarters and you get a home draw, you can't have VAR, but whoever you're playing against does. It just leaves it open for VAR's there to kind of get rid of the talking points, isn't it? And now you're creating more talking points again. It's a bit silly. So I would maybe leave that until semi-finals, where then it's a level playing field. Everyone knows once you get here, is VAR's involved. Do you know what I mean? So
yeah, exactly. Big up to Canners. Hope you're doing well. Afternoon, chaps. Saliba has to play, and both Martinelli and Saka have to rest. And Canners is actually voting for your team, so he likes your team. That has to be that has to be enough to be. I can't stand the guy. Play the youth in this game. I would have, if our under 21s did play yesterday, I would have picked a few.
Battered yesterday as well.
Yeah, exactly. They were absolutely annihilated yesterday. Long-term Smith Rowe for me is an RCM. Well, yeah, for me, he's definitely a centre midfielder. He's not a winger for me. I've said this for so many seasons now. He is definitely the future centre midfielder. Plus, I really want to see Odegaard on the left with Martinelli. That's an interesting one. I feel Saliba needs more minutes. Yep, couldn't agree with you more. Ex-Chelsea youth bait, yes, he was. He did come through the Chelsea Academy. Obviously, went to Leeds. Big up to Craig, AFC 87. Just subscribe to the channel. Thank you ever so much. How far is Mordelik's sign?
I was hoping you knew what that was when I read it.
I have no idea what that means.
Give us more context, please.
Yeah, please. That would be wonderful because I've literally... Because I thought you could say Modric first. I was like, why are we talking about Modric? Big up to Bernie saying no.
Unless he means how far away from Mudryk signing.
Oh,
I think he spelled Mudryk wrong.
To be honest, I can't see it happening in January at this rate. The fact that he's actually been in London, the agent's been in London, although that chat has happened, my feeling is Felix will happen this week. That's my feeling. But the problem is, even though we might sign Felix and everyone says we've signed him, it could take Arsenal PR about 20 days to announce it. So let's not get too excited. Do you know what I mean with the videos that we always wait for?
Me and King was having an argument about Arsenal the other day, and he was kind of trying to explain why we take so long. And I'm not hearing it. We take too long with everything.
When it comes to the announcements,
I get we negotiate for the best deal we can get. We're not like a Chelsea who are just going to throw down the money and that's it. So I get we need to structure it and it takes long. But my issue was, if you knew we wanted Mudryk, we could have started these talks in October rather than put the bid in the first week, like towards the first week in January. Why not put the first bid in October, then come back? Do you know what I mean? And we could have maybe had this tied up for him to sign on the 1st of January. Like, I'm not trying to compare us to other teams, but if we know we're notoriously going to take longer, then we need to start earlier, because it'd be criminal if we haven't got a player in by the Tottenham game. It really would be to me. And especially if we then sign him at the end of the window for the sake of structuring 5 million or whatever it's going to be. Like, I know we're not flash for cash, but if we end up losing to United and Tottenham because of the depth of the squad, and then we end up signing the player anyway, it's criminal. Like, and we can't. Yeah, we have to act a bit quicker. Like, as I said, Chelsea have already signed Nkunku for September for June.
Yeah,
and they had the medical in September. Like, they're not messing around with certain things. We need to stop. I like the fact we don't jump and overpay, because I look at United and every player United signed, there's an extra 15-20 million on top because they know United will end up paying it.
Yeah.
But for me, if I limit 70 million, you put 70 million there, we don't have to withdraw the transfer, but it's rather than how we're doing it, we're taking a bit too long. But yeah, we'll see what happens.
Yeah. I'll come back to that in a minute. I just want to get through some comments because it's starting to build up again. Surely Arteta will play Marquinhos and Vieira against Oxford. To be honest, I have no idea what he's going to go for. He could go semi-strong. He could go quite weak. Who knows? I hope he finds it important enough, though, that he wants us to win it. Cole agreeing with me that Matty Taylor could cause problems. He supports Doncaster because that's where he's from, so he knows about the lower systems as well. The semis are at Wembley, so Tony says. I haven't got a clue, to be honest. I thought they were still... Yeah,
Aston Villa used to be Villa Park, didn't it, in Old Trafford or something like that, depending who was in it.
Craig saying here, apparently Arteta wants Declan Rice in the summer. I'm not commenting. Gumsa...
He agrees with me, I think he's saying.
Okay. David Dean did not waste any time on negotiations. I totally agree with you there. We used to be really quick. This one's not so quick now. Mudryk giving me Vlahovic vibes. It's very different to Vlahovic. Very different. I would love to say more about it, but it's very different. I definitely do.
Different to me, Vlahovic didn't want to come to Arsenal. We were Chelsea in a negotiation, and Vlahovic is obviously Mudryk, and we're now Juventus in it. So I think he's desperate for Arsenal, and I think that will drag it out. But for me, if you're going to put the money down, put the money down and then play your waiting game. Don't wait to put the bid in. Like, that's the argument for me.
I was saying this last night because I had Luke joining me in the chat when I was doing the Sheffield Wednesday game, and I said, just pay the money. Just get it done. I don't care if we're paying what they say over the odds. If he's better than Grealish, and for me he is, and not a lot of people will agree with it, but I think he's better than Grealish. Grealish was 100 million. They paid it. We'll just pay the 85. What is it? 85 million euros or something.
Yeah.
just pay it. Just get it done. Get Felix as well. That's 100 million quid done. Job done. Well, get a midfielder as well, but But there's a lot of talk, and I'm going to go on to the next comment that Tony's just said, that Zaha, there's talk that he's leaving. Would you take Zaha?
Yeah, in a heartbeat.
Yeah.
If you're not going to put long term, Mudryk, obviously, but if you don't want to go to that length of paying that money, then you take Zaha, because it addresses two issues in one. He could play as a striker, so we've got backup with Nketiah and him. He also could play off the left. A game like Newcastle, I think he can make a massive difference for us. And I think he also would understand his role at the club long term.
Yeah.
If that makes sense. I think Mudryk is coming in to be a starter. Martinelli's fighting for a start. And I love the fact we're going to have some rotation and they got a battle for a shirt. However, I think in terms of pupils' development, Zaha will know I'm here for a year, 2 years to make an impact. And then after that, I'm starting to dwindle down and then other boys are taking over. So, and he's an Arsenal fan, so I think it will mean so much to him, and you'll see that in the games. He's really passionate as it is. So, can you imagine that for the team you support?
Yeah. James saying here, Mudryk coming for sure. I think the most likelihood is he'll come in the summer. I think Shakhtar will want to keep him as long as they can, and I think summer will be the longest, because aren't the Shakhtar still in the Champions League?
I believe so. I'm not too sure, actually.
I don't think they were knocked out, were they? If you have a look,
if they weren't, they would drop into Europe as well. To be fair,
so I would have thought they would want to keep him for the season, then agree some kind of deal in the summer. I just can't see it happening right now because they've all left London. They've all gone back to doing what they need to do, and I can't see it happening now. I know I did see this comment that Arteta said in the press conference. I did find it quite funny.
So just before you go on, that Shakhtar came third in their group, so they'll be dropping in to the Champions League, UEFA Cup.
So there's a good possibility we could play him.
Yeah, imagine that.
No, I don't want to imagine that. I really don't. Sign him now. Jeez. That's even more of a reason to get it done. But yeah, this comment that you said yesterday that players decide where players want to end up. I did like that comment because I knew exactly what he was on about. Mudryk.
He wasn't saying I'm chasing Vlahovic, though, was he?
Well, I honestly don't think we wanted him. I honestly don't think we were after him. I think that was all a smokescreen. No. I really do. To be fair, has any of us sat down? I have. Have you watched Shakhtar? Because I have. I've watched Shakhtar for about 10 years now. I've always found them the fascinating team.
They always have, and their production line. I know they don't make the players. Obviously, he might be different. I'm not sure if he started at Shakhtar or what, but they've had some good players come from Shakhtar and do really well in the Prem. So that's why I'm not really worried about it. The players that have come from Shakhtar previously, I know City have had a few. They've tended to do okay in the Premier League. So yeah, it bodes well.
Yeah, Zaha would be class for Arsenal. Totally agree, Colm. I think he would be. James has watched their Champions League games, and James saying that they are out. Edu better get his checkbook up and sign some players. We're in a position to win the league this season. Next season will not be in the position. I can't lie. Oh, I don't know about that. I think next season will be better position to.
I think what I would agree with him is, I wouldn't say we're not in a better position. However, I think the league will be better next year. Again, I don't think Liverpool may improve. United are showing improvements under Ten Hag, so another transfer window for them will surely improve them. Tottenham, I think I don't think they're going to go back to where they belong. Chelsea should improve as well. So I think there'll be more teams battling. So I get where he goes with that, but I think this isn't a fluke how we're playing this year and how we're winning. It's not like a Leicester, and I don't think we're going to get raided for our players like Leicester did either. So
did you hear bright for us? Who was the annoying TV guy the other day that compared us this season to Leicester's? And I'm like, what? Leicester
disrespect on Arsenal's name.
I'm like, my word, we are challenged. We've always been challengers every season since I was a kid, as far as I'm concerned. Yes, we might have had bad seasons where we finished 10th, 8th, 7th, 6th, whatever.
Yeah.
But every season, as an Arsenal fan, especially for me, I wake up on the first day and expect us to challenge for the league.
Mhm.
If it doesn't happen, it doesn't happen. But Leicester fans, I guarantee, do not wake up every morning and go, "We're going to win the league."
Yeah.
Totally different. I
Totally
don't know who
different.
that was. It that Scouse idiot? Was it Carragher? It might have been.
James is saying it's Richard Keys.
Was it? No, it wasn't Richard Keys because I don't watch that guy. I don't give him any airtime on my TVs. It was someone I was watching the other day, but I think Cole might be right. It might have been Carragher. But that was so annoying. I was like, you can't compare this to Leicester. Leicester was they're brilliant stuff, but I guarantee no fan expects them to win it.
No, definitely not.
I know all the 20 teams have a chance to win it because we're in the actual competition, but there are levels.
If you looked at the betting odds, it would read very different. You know what I mean? We'd probably be sixth in the table, whereas Leicester probably at that because they just avoided relegation the year before, so they were probably 18th favourite or 16th favourite at best to win the league. So yeah, it's a complete difference.
Yeah. James saying the position of Shakhtar though is they won't get this level of money in January. In summer, I do not think they will get this much in offers. Probably not, but I reckon there will probably some kind of deal where it's slightly less than they're asking for, and it'll be agreed. I hope we get him now. I really do, but I just because they've left the country. It doesn't look good for me. There's that bit that worries me. But there is loads of talk about Felix today, so we'll have to look out for Felix. Are you that excited about Felix? Because
yeah, I like him. I think I wouldn't. The only thing that's not the stumbling point, but I don't like the thought of a obligation of 70 mil. Even though I don't think that's an overpayment for Felix's quality. However, I think if it was structured a bit more like the Odegaard, where it was option, then it just gives you that bit of security. If he doesn't come and make a massive impact, we're not kind of stuck with a player we don't want. However, I don't think 80 mil with 10 million you pay now, or whatever if it works at 80 million, I don't think that's being held to ransom for João Felix. I think, it's almost a blessing that he's had such a bad time at Atletico because he is top. And again, I think this is what Arsenal need. It's that not at the moment our backup players, there's a drop off. Whereas I think someone like him improves if he comes on, and then you'll be like, how's this man not starting? It's one of them conversations rather than he's all right, but he's never going to get in front of A, B, or C. I don't know where we're going to play him, but again, I think that's the beauty. He can kind of play anywhere in that kind of attacking midfield area, up front, wing. So he's again, if you look at the Newcastle game and we're looking for an option to bring off the bench for whatever reason, he's a man that, do you know what I mean? You're seeing quality and you're not going to hesitate to bring him on. And for me, it's a step in the right direction of the sort of players we should be adding to the squad now. So I think our 11's strong. If we can add 40, 50, 60 million players as the extras, it's where we should need to be. So I'm all for it, if I'm honest.
Fair enough. James saying here that basically easier to negotiate in the summer. Probably will be. James saying Richard Keith was a yep. Leicester will be doing that next year when they're playing in the Championship. It's a good possibility they could be going down. Yeah. Hang on. Skipped one there. Sorry, I said the same thing. No worries. 10 million loan and 70 million obligate pay it now. Yeah, I think Luke said something last night to me about like having certain stipulations in the obligation to buy, which you can do. They do it all over the place, where he has to meet certain criterias and stuff like that. Then the power's with us a little bit still. Felix to come to the Premier and to get crunched. he's gonna know that he's in the Premier League. That's for certain. Imagine Jesus coming off for Felix top. Big up to Tope for Toba. Hope you're doing well. Big up to Amondi. Afternoon, guys. Do you think you will rotate considering your title aspirations? What's the latest Ukrainian? Sinchenko's at Arsenal. He's perfectly happy. We're not talking about any other Ukrainian right now. But guys, get your predictions in. Gumsa, predictions for Oxford tomorrow. What are you going for?
3-0. 3-0.
3-0 to the Arsenal, yeah?
Big and bold. Yep. 3-0.
This is actually a really hard one because I think I said yesterday when I was doing the Sheffield Wednesday Newcastle game, I had the feeling a shock was on. I didn't think Sheffield would win. Really didn't, but they did. And I've just got a problem. I've got a problem with the pitch. It's been raining, muddy. Arsenal players aren't used to that. No,
it's going to be interesting.
I'm going to go with 1-1. I think we're going to have to take it back to the Emirates.
Ooh.
I don't want it to. I really don't. It's
Ooh.
just my gut feeling. I always go my gut feelings with these predictions. I'd love it to be 7-0.
Yeah.
But it's just one of those, isn't it? It's just
again, you don't really know until you see the lineup either. I know on Monday's asking if we rotate. If you watch back the show on Monday, you'll see we have put our predicted lineups in. A lot of us are saying rotation.
yeah.
I think only one was quite strong. I think they only rotated Partey out, and that rest of it was a solid 11. But yeah, that is the concern for us. Like, so just reading that comment you put up, his teammate was saying he was concerned Newcastle had better options off the bench, and they did. They had like St. Maxim and people like that coming on, and yeah, we had Tomiyasu, the only sub we made. So we need depth. We do need some extra quality. I know we've had players missing. Obviously, Jesus, Nelson, and Smith Rowe are all missing from that, but still, we need more. Because even that, who says Nelson comes off the bench in that game? Do you know what I mean? If he's sitting there, does Arteta go for him? He might not use him. So we do need more.
Colm, you've gone for about 3 different predictions. You went 5-1 earlier. Now you've gone for 15-14. My heart won't be able to take that. Penalties. My heart won't be able to take a 15-14 game. Then Arsenal won 5-0. So I'm going to put 5-1 and 5-0 because you're just annoying me. Brenny 3-1. Right. And then do I have more? Is there any more? James has gone for 4-0. James has gone for 4-0. Guys, if you're watching this back, put your predictions in the comments, and I'll always write them down, and I'll big you up if anyone gets it right. Draw for the 4th round. No, you don't get a prize. You just get congratulations. Jeez, what do you want? Big up to Moss. I know Moss has just joined. He's gone for 3-1.
I think Oxford.
No, Oxford. He's just so. He's got this.
He's always got these mashup words, doesn't he?
Yeah, because I went to uni at Oxford, so.
Oh, did you? Oh, okay.
Yeah, I did 2 degrees there. So, draw for the 4th round is taking place today. What time is it? Is it
probably after the? Yeah, probably be after the. What's the big game? Chelsea City.
Man City Chelsea. Because I'm doing that game. As a watch along. So yeah, it could be interesting. He's gone for Eddie Brace. If you win your physical ball, he likes having little pops, doesn't he? In his little comments.
Yeah.
If you win your physical,
you talk about the old Arsenal. This is the no cojones Arsenal you're talking about there. This is a different Arsenal, mate.
And
we will be seeing you soon as well, actually, on Monday, won't we? I'm looking forward to that.
Yes, there will be some content between us.
I know, obviously, we're quite a new channel, but the build up to United and build up to Tottenham is brilliant because of obviously we got the fan channels. The Liverpool guys don't want no smoke with us when we try and get them on the streams. They don't want to join us, but these United fans and Spurs fans, the delusional ones, they're always good up for getting trolled and creating some content for us to clip up and repost and the rest of it. So yeah, we'll be seeing you lot soon, man.
Tony's saying here that Holding's going to score a bicycle kick winner. Interesting. Be interested if that happens.
I will love it.
I will love it. Yeah. But yeah, Gumsa, when are you doing your reaction, mate?
Probably do it straight after the game, actually, on Monday. It'll be after the game.
All right.
Look forward to that. Hopefully it's good news.
Hopefully, yeah.
But it'll be straight after the game. So yeah, Monday, join us for that as well.
Yeah, because Gumsa's the king of reactions. I'm the prince of previews, and I'm the watch along. I do loads of watch alongs. I will be back in
your watch alongs are amazing.
I will be back in 2.5 hours to do the Chelsea Man City game. What's your predictions for that one? Actually, just you, Gumsa. What's your prediction for that?
City win. Wouldn't mind if Chelsea win it, but yeah, I'll go for a City win. They tried something new midweek and didn't really work first half, and then second half they resorted to type and just blew Chelsea away. No, the goal was a bit dodgy from Kepa, but yeah, I can't see anything but a City win. Chelsea have got loads of injuries as well. They just look in disarray at the moment, don't they?
Yeah, don't they? They're just trying to buy everybody at the moment as well. Holding, they obviously think this is a monopoly. Like just buy loads of people. James is saying Holding's going to score all 4 goals. You have to only use that now instead of Prince of Previews now. Oh dear. Keep City in all the cups. I don't know. Why do they like the Carabao? I really don't get why they like the Carabao Cup.
the mentality, I think, is for them, isn't it? It's go and win the first trophy, and it sets you on your way.
I suppose so, yeah.
You get that feeling, but also they've always had a squad to be able to do that. So that's because again, them rotating their 11 looks completely different than some of us rotating our 11.
Yeah.
You've got players in there who would start in most teams. Again, that would probably be a competition. Zinchenko would start in, and Jesus would start in. Do you know what I mean? And they come in and they're two of our better players. So this shows you the kind of they're able to do that without as much pressure as the rest of us.
Moss is already starting this already. Exorcism of the Red Devil.
Yeah.
And then soon enough. So he's up for these 2 previews already. So we'll have to make sure you get involved, Moss. But I'm done. Are you done? I think
done.
We're done. We're done for today. So Gumsa, where can everyone find you, mate?
Your socials kind of guy. So you just got to find me on the reactions. But yeah, I have got the Insta and Twitter. But yeah, I'll be honest. I hold my hands up. I don't get involved in them because also I don't like to be clipped up and stuff like that. I'm a sore loser, and I sulk if people get one over on me, so I keep quiet. But now you'll see me on most reactions, and yeah, I'm about. So yeah, it's all good. It's all love, man.
You'll find me here on Full-Time Sports Network and the Armoury. I did the watch-alongs, I did previews. So yeah, you'll always see me. I've got as I said, game today, and I've got the game tomorrow, and then I think there should be some Tottenham previews coming this week on the Armoury and Full-Time Sport Network. We'll be streaming to both channels now. But yeah, the Tottenham game next Sunday, 4:30. I am slightly nervous, I have to admit, mainly to do with a certain Paxton Road person. Just because I can't cope with him.
Yeah, they win. Despite
what Colm says, I don't live backstage. I do not. I do eat. I do other stuff. Just wait for the next stream. But guys, and that's literally how I was going to end. So I'm going to leave it with Greg's comments of "Come on, you Gunners," because it's exactly that. But
it's our trophy. It's our tournament. It's our cup. So
exactly, but guys. I will see you tomorrow on the Armoury. I'll see you later for the City game. Gumsa will see you tomorrow for the reaction. Take care, everyone. See you later, everyone. Bye-bye.